Somewhere in your head, there's a version of you that made it. The one who wrote the book, started the business, got in shape, learned the instrument, left the job. That version of you is talented, disciplined, fully realized. And here's the strange thing, you've never met them. Not once. But you talk about them constantly. You call them your potential. Today, sit with an uncomfortable possibility. That person doesn't exist. They were never going to exist. And the belief that they're waiting for you somewhere in the future might be the single biggest obstacle between you and your actual life. Potential is a lie we tell ourselves. Here's how the lie works and what's underneath it. Think about what potential actually does for you, psychologically. As long as you never seriously attempt the thing, really attempt it, with full effort, in public, where failure would be undeniable, your imagined self stays pristine. Untested. Perfect. The moment you actually try, you get data. And the data might be brutal. It might say, you're average. It might say, this will take 10 years, not 10 months. It might say, you don't actually want this as much as you want the idea of it. So your mind runs a quiet calculation. Trying risks the fantasy. Not trying preserves it. And I have potential becomes the escrow account where you deposit your self-worth without ever having to cash the check. Psychologists have a name for the extreme version of this, self-handicapping. People will procrastinate, half-commit, stay up too late the night before the interview, not despite the fact that it hurts their chances, but because it does. Fail while sabotaged, and you failed with an excuse. Your ability was never really on trial. I could have been great is unfalsifiable. Nobody can disprove it, as long as you never test it. That unfalsifiability is the drug, and most of us have been high on it for years. Here's a sentence to sit with. Unrealized potential and no potential are behaviorally identical. From the outside, from the perspective of reality itself, the person who could write a great novel and never does, and the person who couldn't write one at all, live exactly the same life. Same days, same output, same ending. The difference exists in one place only, the story running in your head. And that story is expensive, because every hour spent living inside the hypothetical future self is an hour of refusing to inhabit the actual present one. Notice what I have potential secretly implies. Say it slowly. I have potential, meaning what you are right now doesn't count yet. The real you hasn't arrived. That's not hope. That's a deferral of your own existence. The fantasy self is frozen. It can never grow because it never touches anything real. It can never fail, sure, but it can never learn, never adjust, never surprise you. The actual you, the flawed one, the one who writes badly and plays out of tune and gets rejected, that's the only one with a pulse. That's the only one who can change. Now, before you turn this into another weapon against yourself, look at where this lie came from. Because you didn't invent it. You were handed it. You have so much potential. Remember hearing that? From a teacher, a parent, a coach? It sounds like praise. It functions like a debt. Somewhere along the way, you learned that your worth didn't live in what you were doing. It lived in what you might someday do. You became a promissory note, a stock that was always about to break out. And a kid who learns that their value is hypothetical learns something dangerous. The hypothetical must be protected. Don't test it. Don't risk it. Keep the potential intact, because the potential is who you are. So when you catch yourself deferring, dreaming, protecting the fantasy, that's not a character flaw. That's an old survival strategy. It's how we kept our worth safe back when our worth felt conditional. It's just that the strategy has outlived its usefulness. The vault we built to protect our potential became the prison where it starves. So is potential entirely fake? No. And this is where the idea gets precise. Potential is real as a property. It's a lie as an identity. It's true that you could become something. Human beings develop. The 40-year-old really can learn the guitar. Capacity is real. What's false is the idea that the could counts for anything on its own. Potential is not an asset you get to hold. It's a debt reality will eventually collect on, with interest, in the currency of regret. So here's the reframe. Stop spending your potential like money. And start treating it like a bill that's due. And the payment is smaller than you fear. You don't have to become the fantasy self tomorrow. You have to do the one thing the fantasy self never does. Make contact with reality. Write the bad first page. Play the wrong notes. Launch the embarrassing version. Get the data. Yes, the data might sting. But notice what the sting actually is. It's the feeling of the imaginary self dying so a real one can take its place. That's not destruction. That's the first honest transaction you've made with your own life in years. The confrontation with reality you've been avoiding? It was never the cruel part. It's the merciful part. The real self that fails can improve. The imagined self that never tries is already dead. It just hasn't been buried, because you keep visiting the grave and calling it the future. So here's the thing to carry out of this. Somewhere in your head is that perfect version of you. And admitting they're not coming feels like killing them. But you're not killing anything. You're just finally telling the truth. There was only ever one of you. The one watching this right now. The one with the unwritten page, the unstarted thing, the day that isn't over yet. Potential is a lie when it's a place to hide. It becomes true the moment it becomes a verb. So, quietly, without announcing it to anyone, go make the smallest possible contact with the real thing today. Not to become the fantasy, to bury it. What you find underneath will be smaller, rougher, and infinitely more alive.